Let's get to it, folks. Joe Rogan goes in on California Governor Gavin Newsom and why he hasn't been on his podcast. So if you guys don't know, Gavin Newsom is the nephew of Nancy Pelosi. He wants to run for president. He's already destroyed California. California is a shell of what it used to be. The only thing really going for it is its natural beauty, its natural aesthetic, and the networking opportunities. Other than that, Gavin Newsom is successful in destroying California, but he wants to run for president. And listen to what Joe Rogan has to say regarding this.
They don't have any faith in Gavin Newsom.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of funny because he wants to be president so bad.
That's true what it looks like.
You can't ruin a city and then go on to ruin a state and say, guys, that was just practice.
I know.
Once I get it as a president, I'm going to fix it. Fix it all.
I mean, it's so crazy, but he's such a great politician. I mean,
no,
he's
not.
so smooth.
He's
not,
not,
you don't think
though.
so?
No, I think he's terrible.
How's he remained in power for so long?
Low competition. There's no one who's good is competing against him. There's no sincerity.
I should say he's not a good. I should say he's smooth. He comes.
I mean, he's
smooth.
a good bullshit artist.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But it's like what the things that he says when he gets confronted with things. We're the highest this and the highest that. Like everybody's leaving.
Yeah.
You have the highest unemployment.
Yeah.
You have the highest homelessness.
Look what they did with Hollywood.
Money's missing. You killed Hollywood. Like Hollywood doesn't exist anymore. It's literally gone.
That was such an easy one.
mandated vaccines for kids that didn't need them. You guys, he did horrible shit.
What's he coming on? He's talking some shit on Twitter.
I know, it's like, you think that's gonna work? Like, that's so stupid. Like, this is such a bad look. It's such a bad choice.
There's a little desperation in it.
But it's just stupid. It's like, this is a bad strategy. Like, I probably would have had him on.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, nah, what are you doing?
There is a fun version where you just do it and cook them. You know?
He'll cook himself.
I mean, that
He'll cook
seems to
himself.
be
All you have to
happening.
do is just ask him questions.
Yeah, it's like, why are people leaving?
Well, why do you say this thing all the time where you rattle off all the good things about California? When anybody says something bad about California, it's like, #1 in Fortune 500 companies, #1 in higher education,
Yeah.
It was all that shit before you were there. It was all that shit forever. It's because the weather's perfect, man. It has nothing to do with
California.
He hasn't, for years and years, he's been attacking me, and it's one way, and he won't have me on. He's consistently not having me on. By the way, I'm moving on. I have no interest.
You're done with him?
Joe Rogan's the Facebook of podcasting. He was sitting across one of the brightest minds in podcasting right now. The guy was in the mic, and there are a lot of people at the mic doing extraordinary things in podcasting.
Joe Rogan's got a pretty big audience still, though.
You know what? But with all due respect, if he has a big audience but he doesn't have big enough confidence, I didn't go there, to have me on.
Well, you've called him a chicken.
But he's been attacking for... here's the thing. These guys, they all have something in common. It's one way. They attack, they belittle, they demean, they take things out of context. But this is a serious thing.
Yeah.
And so often we just sit back and go, oh God, I really would love to go on. Oh, if Kamala Harris just went on Joe Rogan, she would have won. It's not, it's so much deeper than that. And the unwillingness for a guy like that to even have the common courtesy to attack someone and not have the decency to say, you know what, why don't you have a chance to come on? Let's have a civil dialogue. I've watched you on podcasts with like Sean Ryan, who's a close buddy of his. He had the courage on me have 4 hours.
Right.
Sean Hannity, folks like that. And so if I can go on Sean Ryan and Sean Hannity, what are you worried about? Joe, you're gonna cook me, or I'm gonna cook myself.
Well, Gavin Newsom heard it. He heard it with his own ears. That's correct. You would cook yourself. First of all, Kamala, if she would have went on Joe Rogan's podcast, it would have been absolutely disastrous. Those conversations on Joe Rogan's podcast are like around minimum 2 hours, sometimes 3.5, rare cases longer than that. A lot of these liberals, they're so delusioned. They do not realize that a lot of their hypocrisies can be called out within a matter of a 5-minute conversation. Imagine Gavin Newsom sitting down with Joe Rogan for almost 3 hours and he's poking holes in a lot of the nonsense that he's saying. And before I play this clip, this is from the All the Smoke podcast. This is how politicians code switch. Now, he's around 2 ex-NBA players. I watch this podcast a lot. He has Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, and he's gonna code switch and he's gonna give them this story about how he worked his way up, didn't have much. I will show you guys, Gavin Newsom actually grew up with multi-millionaire parents.
But also, it was also about paying the bills, man. And it was just like hustling. And so I was out there kind of raising myself, turning on the TV, started, just getting obsessed, sitting there with the Wonder Bread and 5 stacks of,
Man, it's like the White Stack 5 story.
Come on. Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up, bro.
Yeah. Are you talking about me?
Young
that's
YG.
it.
YG,
But
man, I knew it.
every day in the backyard, just bouncing the basketball, throwing the ball against the wall until the ball is just like fraying, man, and your arms
Entertaining
falling
yourself.
off. That's it, whole thing. So just and then then this student that was shitty student is in the back with his head down. All of a sudden, started throwing the baseball a little faster than everyone else, and started make a few free throws because I was sitting there practicing 500 of them every damn night. And in high school, I look up in the stands, my dad's back up there.
Okay, dope.
And it's like, man, and then he's bringing his friends and you're captain of the team and you're like, gee, and it just saved me and it got me into college.
Gavin Newsom isn't poor. Yes, he had a single mother, but his father's a well-known attorney who worked for Gordon Getty, the billionaire Gettys. So he can sit on the All That Smoke podcast and talk to 2 black men and riff about Wonder Bread and mac and cheese. But that is not a man who grew up with any kind of struggle. And if you want to be a serious candidate in 2028, I need you to stop going to black spaces and giving some kind of pseudo struggle story. Okay, it's giving hot sauce in my bag. Okay, you grew up rich, just don't be embarrassed about it. If anything, you should say, I've seen the wealth disparity, I've been blessed to be on the other end of it, and I want to make sure that everyday Americans get access to some kind of life where they're not struggling and worrying about their monthlies, their utilities, their daycare. It's just not that hard to be authentic and care about people. Less performance, less hot sauce in my bag, and more just talking to people like regular people, please. Please, please, Democrats. Okay, Gavin Newsom isn't poor. Yes, he had a single mother, but his father's a well-known attorney.
Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, shame on you guys for not doing your homework. You guys let this man sit up here and lie in your face. And listen to how he code switches. He hit every bullet point that would appeal to it's an overcoming story. I didn't have much, I grew up with a single family, and then so-and-so happened and led to this opportunity and success. He said, I started bouncing the ball against the wall. I went from this kid who had his head down to becoming captain. You see what he's trying to do? He's trying to appeal to the black audience. This is literally straight out of the politician PR playbook. And Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson are sitting there laughing because they don't know who he is. They don't know anything about him. They're probably just happy, we got a great guest, and it's a governor, oh my gosh. All right, so here's a story right here by the San Francisco Chronicle back in 1991, and it was highlighting Children of the Rich was the name of the story. And of course, guess who was a part of it? Our very own Gavin Newsom with Paul Moyen, Andrew Getty, and Billy Getty, posing for a Children of the Rich feature that ran in San Francisco Chronicle on December 12, 1991. The guy's lying to you. He didn't have Wonder Bread. He wasn't eating mac and cheese because that was the only option, maybe because he wanted to. The kid probably had an in-home house manager with a cook, and probably had some maids, he probably grew up with nannies, and you guys let him come on your show and lie to you to this degree. Gavin Newsom is certified rich. And here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with growing up rich. If you're rich, you just have to own it. Just don't lie about this rags to riches story about how you worked hard and over time, the fruits of my labor finally showed up, and that's just embarrassing. So shame on Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. The All the Smoke podcast dropped the ball, no pun intended on that one. So as of right now, Newsweek predicts that Gavin Newsom has a 23% chance of winning the next presidential election. This is the man that wants to run our country, not just run our country, but run it into the ground. The Bay Area, he failed the state of California. He ran a very corrupt regime. He made it difficult for everyone. All his BS 2020 lockdown measures that nobody agreed with, while he let all his rich friends and himself, of course, still run their businesses. Because if you didn't know, Gavin still ran his, he owns a winery. He was allowed to run his winery, even though it was not considered essential. That's the kind of man he is.
The way the voting system is structured, we see quite a few flaws. You're able to register and cast a vote if you don't live in the country, as evident of his brother in Pakistan. And I think we have some evidence of 2 or 3 other people out of the country that voted. Is that correct?
Yeah, approximately 2 or 3 other people out of the country, as well as people residing outside of the district.
Okay. The online voter registration system, it seems to be an honor system. Anybody can put information in there to register to vote. All you have to do is click a box and say that you're not lying, and then you'll get an email from the Secretary of State or something in the mail saying thank you for registering to vote, and there you are. Once you're on the voter rolls, anytime an election comes around, guess what? You get mailed a ballot, right? You get mailed something to vote. So we found that a little bit problematic.
This is Gavin Newsom's California, don't forget, because remember when Larry Elder ran against him, we all thought Larry Elder was going to win. Of course, crooked Gavin Newsom somehow pulled away and nobody understood why. What they're telling you right now is through their investigation, they found out that there were some voting loopholes that allowed people to vote outside of our country. And there was some honor system that if you have passed or approved, you were able to submit your votes. How is that possible that people internationally are taking part in a state election? Everything that you saw that happened to San Fran, that you saw happen to Cali, will happen on a national level. Don't allow this guy to continue to lie. He's going to try to clip farm and prepare for his campaign, but we're onto him and we're going to follow him and we're going to call him out on his lies. Well, you guys let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Governor Gavin Newsom is a nuisance. All right, guys, deuces.